The art of assertiveness. Speak like a leader. Have you ever left a conversation thinking, I should have said something? Or walked away from a negotiation feeling like you gave up too much ground? The difference between being overlooked and being respected isn't intelligence, credentials, or even experience. It's assertiveness, the ability to stand your ground and communicate with clarity and conviction. Today, we're breaking down the art of assertiveness, how to speak like a leader without being aggressive, how to say no without burning bridges, and how to stand for yourself in any situation. This isn't about dominating others, it's about commanding the respect you deserve. The power of assertive communication. Let's start by defining what assertiveness actually is and the types of assertiveness. There are three main communication styles: passive, aggressive, and assertive. Passive communicators avoid conflict at all costs, often at their own expense. Aggressive communicators steamroll others to get their way. But assertive communicators, they stand up for themselves while still respecting others. The research is clear. A study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that assertive individuals are perceived as 58% more competent and 41% more respected than their passive counterparts. Beyond perception, assertiveness directly impacts your mental health. Research from the American Psychological Association shows that assertive behavior reduces anxiety by 39% and increases self-confidence by 47% over time. As Theodore Roosevelt once demonstrated during the coal strike of 1902, assertiveness isn't about raising your voice, it's about standing firm on principle. When mine owners and workers reached an impasse, Roosevelt didn't yield to either side. He asserted a third position focused on public interest, becoming the first president to intervene in a labor dispute and establishing a precedent for presidential authority. Understanding the basics. Assertiveness has three key components: expressing your needs clearly, setting firm boundaries, and using I statements to own your feelings. For example, instead of saying "you always interrupt me," which sounds accusatory, an assertive person might say, "I feel frustrated when I'm interrupted because I lose my train of thought." This expresses the same concern but frames it as your experience rather than an attack. Nelson Mandela exemplified this principle during his imprisonment. Rather than responding with hatred, he asserted his humanity by learning his captor's language and culture. In his words, if you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. If you talk to him in his language, that goes to his heart. This assertive approach, standing firm in his dignity while acknowledging the humanity of others, ultimately helped transform a nation. The line between assertiveness and aggression can sometimes seem thin, but there's a crucial difference. Assertiveness is about standing up for your rights while respecting others. Aggression is about winning at someone else's expense. A fascinating Harvard Business School study found that assertive negotiators reach more mutually beneficial agreements 67% of the time, while aggressive negotiators often achieve short-term wins but damage long-term relationships. The power of no. Perhaps the most powerful assertive tool in your arsenal is a simple two-letter word: no. According to research from the University of California, the average person says yes to requests they'd rather decline 4 times a week. That's over 200 unwanted commitments per year. Steve Jobs understood this principle better than most when he returned to Apple in 1997. The company was developing dozens of products, diluting its focus and resources. Jobs assertively cut the product line by 70%, saying, "People think focus means saying yes to the thing you've got to focus on. But that's not what it means at all. It means saying no to the 100 other good ideas." This assertive no saved Apple and led to the development of revolutionary products like the iPod and iPhone. The key to an effective no is brevity and honesty. "No, I can't take on that project right now as it would compromise the quality of my current work" is clear, honest, and respectful. A study from the Journal of Consumer Research found that changing "I can't" to "I don't" when declining increases your follow-through by 61%. "I don't work on weekends" is more powerful than "I can't work on weekends." Standing for yourself and sharing opinions. Beyond saying no, assertiveness means confidently sharing your perspective, even when it's unpopular. Abraham Lincoln mastered this when he assembled his famous team of rivals cabinet, placing former political opponents in key positions. When his advisors unanimously opposed the Emancipation Proclamation, Lincoln listened respectfully but firmly stated, "The promise being made must be kept." He valued their input but ultimately asserted his own moral conviction, forever changing American history. A compelling study from the Journal of Experimental Social Psychology found that groups with one assertive dissenter make better decisions 75% of the time compared to groups with complete consensus. Your dissenting opinion has value. When sharing an unpopular opinion, Use the agreement bridge assertion technique. Start with something you agree with, bridge to your perspective, then assert your position. For example, I agree customer satisfaction is important. At the same time, I think we need to consider the financial implications. My position is that we should find a middle solution that addresses both concerns. Practical techniques for assertive communication. Assertiveness isn't just what you say, it's how you say it. Your nonverbal communication makes up 93% of your message. Stand tall with shoulders back, maintain appropriate eye contact, and speak at a measured pace with deliberate pauses. Martin Luther King Jr. exemplified this powerful combination of verbal and nonverbal assertiveness. During his I Have a Dream speech, he paused 20 times for applause, not out of uncertainty, but to allow his words to resonate. Each pause was a deliberate assertion of the importance of his message. His steady gaze and upright posture reinforced his unwavering commitment to equality. In workplace settings, assertive language is direct and specific. Instead of saying maybe we could try my approach, say I recommend we implement this solution because of these specific benefits. A Stanford University study found that assertive professionals are 34% more likely to be promoted and earn an average of $7,800 more per year than their non-assertive peers. Building confidence. Like any skill, assertiveness improves with practice. Start in low-stakes situations, perhaps expressing a preference about where to eat lunch or requesting a small change from a service provider. Research from the Journal of Personality shows that deliberate practice of assertive communication for just 2 weeks leads to a 40% increase in confidence and a 35% decrease in social anxiety. Track your assertiveness wins, no matter how small. Each successful assertion builds neural pathways that make the next one easier. Remember, confidence is not a prerequisite for assertiveness, it's the result of assertive action. Maintaining assertiveness in everyday life. True assertiveness isn't situational, it's consistent across contexts. The way you communicate with your colleagues should align with how you communicate with friends, family, and service providers. Benjamin Franklin understood this principle of consistency. When requesting a favor from a rival legislator, rather than being passive or aggressive, Franklin borrowed a rare book from him. This assertive request acknowledged the man's expertise and began a relationship built on mutual respect. Franklin later reflected that this approach was more effective than any aggressive confrontation would have been. In personal relationships, setting boundaries is an act of respect, both for yourself and others. Clear statements like "I need an hour to decompress after work" before discussing household matters prevent resentment from building and actually strengthen relationships. A study from the University of Georgia found that couples who practice assertive communication report 78% higher relationship satisfaction and resolve conflicts 3 times faster than couples who use passive or aggressive communication styles. Practical challenge and call to action. Here's my challenge to you. This week, identify one situation where you typically hold back, and commit to asserting yourself. Maybe it's asking for what you deserve at work, setting a boundary with someone who regularly oversteps, or simply sharing your genuine opinion in a discussion. Prepare by writing down exactly what you want to say. Use the formula we discussed: clear I statements, specific requests, and respectful delivery. Then, take action, even if your voice shakes. Drop a comment below sharing one situation where you plan to be more assertive this week. Or, if you've already mastered this skill, share your best tip for assertive communication. If you want more strategies to command respect, build confidence, and live with purpose, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. Remember, assertiveness isn't just a communication style, it's a life philosophy that says, I matter, my needs matter, and I deserve to be heard.